Welcome, fellow Americans, to the Kennedy Democratic Party. I'm your host, Yochanan Proctor, and I'm creating this video to shore up what the Kennedy Democratic Party is all about. Those of you that haven't seen or heard of us before, you're probably wondering, who are these people? If you've seen our address for kennedyparty.org, that would be us. We are a Democratic Party that is left-wing, but we will make the important distinction that we are not radicalized as our progressive counterparts, who are pretty much taken over the Democratic National Party. And we will be distinguishing ourselves in various ways that places us somewhere between the progressives, the far left, and Republicans that are very much right-wing. We have a 10-point platform that we will advance, and I will summarize this in this video right now. The first point being that we respect all people. Now, all politicians, all political parties want to say that they respect all people. They want everybody to come in and be a member of their party. That's good and well, but the reality these days, the Republican Party on the right, and they represent more or less, and these are totally just generalizations. The Republican Party represents, in general, the majority white population, and the Progressive Party, vis-a-vis the DNC, they represent pretty much everybody else. They're trying to. And the progressives are very good at trying to create this wall between, white versus black, white versus Latino. We are not about that. We respect and love all people, and you'll be, respected in this party if you're not, pushing identity politics. Everybody is equal in this country, as our forefathers wanted. It didn't come out that way, but we are aspiring to be the best that we can, and we will not be playing identity politics in this party. That's the first point of our platform, and most important to remember. Second point that we will try to advance is we will eliminate non-democratic monarchical powers. What we mean by that is that in our country, in our culture, we have evolved our Constitution that's gone way beyond what it was expected to be. We have pretty much made our president, and to some degree our Supreme Court members, we have made them like kings. And this is not the way it's supposed to be. For example, one of the things we will advance is the elimination of executive orders. This is becoming a farce. It's totally ridiculous. It is pushing us way beyond being a democracy. We are not being a democracy anymore when each single president that comes to power, from Biden going all the way back, have incrementally increased the number of executive orders with each incoming president. It's ridiculous. It's not going to end. The next president will enact more executive orders than President Biden. The second next future president after him will enact even more, and it will never end. The trend has been that way, and it's going to continue that way. The only solution for this is one of many things. The only solution is to eliminate executive orders, and that is what we mean by elimination of non-democratic powers. There's other things, but this is just a summary video. The third point we will advance is fiscal responsibility. The Republicans in general, again, these are generalizations. Republicans want to cut taxes all the time, and Progressive Party wants to be raising taxes all the time. These are two extremes, and this is what I will continue to emphasize in this program, this party, that we do not wish to be like the extremes that have become American politics. It's not about cutting taxes or raising taxes. We will take the ground of whatever is needed at the time and make it fit our national budget. One of the most important things we need to do is that we cannot continue to raise our national debt level. That is just an impossibility, right? Whatever in any given administration, if what taxes need to be raised, we will be for raising taxes. If they need to be cut, we will cut taxes. It's not an either or issue. It is what is needed, and to do it within a budget that doesn't continue to raise the national debt level, because we know what will happen if we keep doing that, and I don't need to say it verbally. Fourth point in our platform is education, competition, and reform. We need more competition in the educational sphere in our country. We are becoming one of the our educational standards are continually being lowered compared to other nations. That just should not be. Our forefathers and everybody came before us emphasized having an educated, literate electorate, and we are not really moving in that direction anymore. I will emphasize this in further detail in future videos. The fifth point of our platform is criminal and penal reform. We are one of the highest incarcerated. We have rather one of the highest incarcerated rates in the world. And we are the United States. I won't say any more on that, other than that there needs to be real, reform in our penal system. The crime, that we need to figure out ways to incentivize people not to be criminals, but to incentivize them to be good, lawful abiding, moralistic Americans. Plain and simple. I mean, that's what got us to be a great country to begin with. They were law-abiding, moral-minded people. This is what brought us great success in the past, and it will make us to be great again, to use President Trump's words. He wasn't pursuing what I just said out loud. He just took the moniker to make America great again, but there are certain factors that made our country great, and we need to reduce our criminality and become more law-abiding Americans. And on that vein, part of, I believe, is under the second point of our platform. Speaking of law-abiding, we need presidents in Congress who will enforce all our laws, not just the laws that they believe in when they come to office. It's not, when a Republican comes to office, they enforce only certain laws. A progressive comes into office, they enforce laws that they like. This is not the way democracy works. You don't get to pick and choose. We need to be law-abiding. It needs to begin at the top of the chain with the presidency that needs to enforce all laws, whether they like it or not. And if they don't like it, it's up to Congress, to the president and the electorate and the people to change the laws to be, as they want them to be. Not to be criminals and do, hey, I'm going to do what I want. No. So criminal reform is one of the big things, the fifth point of our platform. The sixth one, and again, we have 10 points. I'm just summarizing here. I'm not going into great detail. The sixth one being healthcare. We need healthcare reform. And when I say healthcare reform, I'm not talking about the system that was created under the Obama administration. That is neither here nor there. When we talk about healthcare reform, we're talking about reforming our health system so that people have real health. We're not talking about the insurance part of the system. People can have insurance. Doesn't matter, what insurance system we have. Frankly, we are leaning towards the system that lowers the age of Medicare for all. We believe that is the better path right now in terms of insurance, but that isn't the end of itself. We need to change things very fundamentally so that we have real health. That's what we mean by healthcare reform, and we'll go into that again in future videos. The seventh point of our platform is environmentalism. For the most part, I'll just summarize by saying we are pretty much in agreement with the progressive side of things. We believe that the environment needs to be protected, to have environmental law enforcement. We have no right to be destroying our world. We need to keep environment good for our growing population, not only in our country but in the globe. So for the most part, we are pro-environmental. Eighth point of our platform is something that may not be clarified right now. We call it clarifying the Second Amendment and abortion issues. These are very hot topic buttons in the American public in the 21st century. We intend to, as the Kennedy Party, we intend to create a law that will appease just about everybody. There is a solution to this, but I'm not going to give it out for the Republicans or the progressives to run with so they can take credit for it. So when we have people in office where we can make laws, we will advance in that time. But for now, just to say, we have solutions for Second Amendment and abortion issues. The ninth point of our platform is international cooperation and sovereignty among nations. People tend to make these an either-or issues in this day and age. Either you cooperate and some people say you're giving in to the laws of stronger nations, or you're sovereign and you're like sovereign, independent, and without any need to be accountable to anybody else. To us, this is not an either-or choice. It's both. You can have international cooperation and be a sovereign nation. All I'll say is that, we'll go into that in future times. And finally, the 10th point of our platform, and just as important as the first point, I would say, is that we will advance election transparency and accountability. You cannot have real democracy, people, if you can cheat your way to elections. Not for anything here. We know what the way 2020 came out, and there's been the ongoing cultural conflict in our nation is partly due because there wasn't real transparency. Sorry, but there needs to be major reform in our election process, our transparency, so that everyone can be satisfied and know after election this party won, this party won, so that it causes no conflict. We do not have complete transparency these days, which is why we have this ongoing battle between Republican versus progressive. Very sorry that this happened, but we will actually advance things that are more radical than either one of them were willing to do. And we will go into that again in future videos instead of doing it all in one. This is just a summary video, and again, this is the 10-point platform that we are working on that will distinguish us from the Republican Party and the Progressive Party. Thank you. We hope to have your support as we go forward.